Did you do this? Did you do that, Monty? Monty. This is why I can't have nice things. Okay, ready? Show off for everybody. Are you ready? You're gonna show off? Good job. You're so good. Hi everyone, Janie here. Welcome back to my garden. Welcome to my January garden here in Zone 9 in Northern California. I have 3 main garden tasks that I think of that I have to get done in January. They're time sensitive and I need to get them done to make sure that my gardening season goes smoothly. So the first thing that I have to get done is I have to make sure that all of my spring blooming bulbs are in the ground and planted by the second week of January. So I don't even have all of January. That means tulips, daffodils, hyacinths, crocus, anything that's spring blooming that I want to plant by bulb, I need to get it in the ground now. And I'm almost done. I've got a lot in. I don't have it all in, so I still have to do that. Another thing that I haven't even started yet, oh my goodness, is rose care. January is rose care for Zone 9, and what that means is any pruning that you have to do for your roses has to get done in January. It's the perfect month. You can do it. You can kind of fudge it a little bit to February, but January is better. If you live in a colder zone, you just kind of push it out a little bit to February or March, depending on what zone you are. Check with your local garden center. But for Zone 9, it's January. You want to do all your pruning and you want to make sure that you defoliate your roses. So what that means is if winter hasn't gotten cold enough that the roses lose all their leaves, it's important that you take the leaves off your roses so that you can force dormancy. And not one of my roses have lost its leaves. So I got a lot of rose care in my future. But the third task that I need to get done in January is I need to take care of deciduous fruit trees, because deciduous fruit trees like apples, like pomegranates, like apricots, like figs, they are dormant right now. So now's the time to prune them. Now's the time to spray them if there's any disease or anything you need to take care of. Now's the time you want to take care of it, because by February, there's a chance that there could be bud break. And if there's bud break, meaning you start to see the little buds on the deciduous trees, it's too late to like spray copper or something like that. So January is a really good month to take care of your deciduous fruit trees. And I have 3. I have 2 I'm taking care of today. I have a pomegranate and I have an apricot. I also have a fig tree, but I don't need to prune my fig tree. You don't have to prune a fig tree every year. And I just got this one massively pruned, so I don't have to worry about that. But I am going to prune my pomegranate today, and I am going to spray and prune my apricot tree today. So here's my apricot tree in my long border, and I can't tell you what variety of apricot this is. One, because I don't know, because I inherited this tree when we moved into this house. But 2, it's not one variety. It's one of those mutant trees that's been grafted and has 4 different varieties on each of these 4 main limbs right here. And the reason why we know that is because they fruit at different times, they lose their leaves at different times, and you can buy really crazy trees where one limb is like a plum, one limb is an apple, one limb is a apricot, one limb is nectarine. Like you can buy some crazy stuff with fruit trees. So I just call this my apricot tree. It's my apricot tree. And there's a couple things that you have to think of before you do pruning. One is the weather. And for apricots, weather is super important. You don't want any rain in the forecast for your apricot tree. So we don't have any rain like for the next 10 days. We have really beautiful weather and it's above 40 degrees, which is really important. You don't want it to be too cold and you don't want any frost in the forecast either, at least for the next couple days. So it's the perfect day, no rain. We're in the 50s right now. We're only getting down to like low 40s at night. So it's perfect for the apricot. So I had to wait until it was a good time because we had a lot of rain earlier on in the month. And so now is a really, really great time. So weather is really important. Making sure that there's no rain is really important, and timing is really important as well, because like I said, you don't want to take care of it too late when you start seeing bud break, but there's no bud break going on here. So when I attack this, I'm going to do the 3 Ds, which I'm sure a lot of you have heard of: dead, damaged, and diseased, right? And you want to take out any crossing branches. So you can see this one right here is crossing with this one, so I'll have to take off this one. this poor branch right here, this got run into by a truck and I'm very upset about it. So I'm probably going to take this whole branch off. I also want to size control it because I don't want it to get too big to where I can't reach the apricot. So I'm going to bring it back down to size. And I'm going to remember that I don't want to take off too much because apricots fruit on 1-year-old wood. So if I take off too much, then it's not going to fruit as much for me. But I would rather it be size controlled and have less fruit than have a really crazy apricot and have a ton of fruit. I hope that makes sense. So anyway, I am going to get to pruning for this guy. And the way that I'm doing it, first of all, if you guys got like gift cards for Christmas or holidays or anything, buy this. This thing is the most amazing thing in the world. It's an automatic pruner. It's very scary. You have to keep your hands away from it, but oh my goodness, I have never used a tool so much as I've used this tool. So I already sprayed this and my pruners with alcohol to disinfect them. Right? Isopropyl alcohol. I just put it in this and then I sprayed them and I let it dry. And then after I'm done with pruning, I'll talk about this in a little bit, but this is copper and that's going to help prevent any diseases. So I'm just going to get going with the pruning of this. And I will say to all of you, I am not the best at fruit tree pruning in general, but I do have to say, as I'm practicing and as I'm doing it year after year, I can say I am getting more comfortable. So if you're uncomfortable, don't worry, just go, just do it, and you will get comfortable as the years go on. I am like, like last year, I was like barely comfortable at all. I got a little bit more comfortable this year. I'm feeling even more comfortable, and I'm sure subsequent years I'll feel better and better. And then maybe one day I'll feel confident. I doubt it, but maybe, you never know. Okay, so I think I'm going to stop there for my tree pruning, my apricot tree pruning this year. Last year I took off way more because there was way more crossing and way more damaged. I probably could do a little bit more, but I think I'm just going to leave it at that for this year. So I took off a bunch of branches, some significant branches that were crossing, like in the back, which was kind of a bummer, but when they're crossed, they'll rub against each other and it can create disease. So you want to make sure you take those off. I definitely took it down a couple feet, so it's not as tall. It's still like I'm going back and forth on whether I should go even shorter, but I'm just going to leave it like that. I can always take off more if I need to. And then of course took off this big limb that was damaged from the truck running into it. That was a big bummer, but probably good because it was, it was pointing out into the driveway. So I'm happy with this. There's a couple more that I'm kind of questioning. Like you really want to do kind of a vase shape, right? Just like when you're pruning roses. And this one's going into the middle. And this one's going into the middle, so I'm kind of questioning whether I should take those off. I'm hoping, Lance, that you're watching. Lance and his wife Tamara, they came and visited me and helped me with my fruit trees. They have a fruit tree farm, like mainly a peach farm, a little bit south of here, and he's been like my go-to guy. Last year when I pruned this tree, he texted me after the video came out and told me I did a good job. So Lance, if you're watching, let me know. Let me know about this one. And let me know about this one. I would like to know about those. So anyway, I'm happy with this. I think it looks pretty good. I was definitely I held back a little bit this year. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to spray with copper. So spraying with copper is something that you can do for trees that are susceptible to disease, whether it's fungus spores overwintering or peach leaf curl or leaf curl or something like that. It's good to do just to prevent any diseases, especially on plants that are definitely susceptible to diseases. Like for instance, my redbud, my lavender twist redbud that's over there, that I definitely spray copper on. Otherwise, it will just be decimated like a month into the season with a fungus. So I did this last year and it really helped. You definitely want to do this when it's dormant. You definitely want to do this when it's not raining and it's not too cold. You want to spray enough so that it's basically dripping off, and you can do it again. Like if your apricot had really bad disease last year, you can actually do it twice, another time in early February before bud break. All right, all done with the apricot for January. Big check next to that. I'm gonna go wash my hands and then I'll get started on the pomegranate. Okay, so here is the pomegranate tree right here in the orchard garden. Look at all these beautiful oranges that are coming. So a lot of you asked me when the arborist came the other day if they took care of the orange tree. There's a limb over here that's hanging down, and no, they didn't have time. They were super busy. They told me how busy they were, and I felt bad asking them to do something else. So I'm gonna see if they can come out real quick to fix it, or maybe I'll just take care of it myself. I mean, I feel like I could probably do this. Anyway, so I need to take care of that. But right now I want to focus on this pomegranate tree. So last year I pruned this pomegranate tree to within an inch of its life because I was trying to shape it into more of a standard tree, like one trunk tree. And when you prune too much, off of a pomegranate, it reacts by creating a ton of suckers. And you can see that is what happened this past year. It looked really good. It looked fantastic. It just created 1,000 suckers that I have to come in and I have to take care of. And that's something with a pomegranate tree that is a constant kind of battle, is dealing with the suckers. So, and it's really something that I kind of took care of it a little bit as the season went on, but once it flushes out so much, it's hard to get in there. So, I definitely need to take care of it now. So I'm not going to cut it back as much as I did last year. Last year, I brought it down to just 2 main trunks. I don't even know if you can see it, but they're strapped. It's pokey, so they've got thorns, so I don't want to stick my hand in there. But I pruned it down to 2 main trunks, and this year I'm going to try and get it back to those 2 main trunks by taking off all the other suckers. But I'm not going to take off as much up here because that will also cause a ton of foliage growth and not as many pomegranates. So basically, the first year we moved into this house, I didn't prune the pomegranate tree, and I got like 2 baskets full of pomegranates. I got a ton of pomegranates, and then I pruned it like crazy, and this year I got like 5, maybe 6 pomegranates, and that was it. And I got a ton of leafy growth. So I'm going to cut back on pruning this year, deal with a little bit scrubbier of a plant, but probably have more fruit. And every year I'll kind of just go back and forth until I get the look that I'm going for with this, which is a nice tidy, compact tree. And then here's the fig tree. You can see it's deciduous. It's lost all its leaves. I'm not going to prune it this year because we pruned it last year. It's looking really good, really happy. I did go in and I took away all those suckers underneath because figs get suckers too. But I don't really have to do anything else to this tree. I'm not going to worry about it. That guy though, this is going to take me a while. And I am going to clean my pruners again. I feel attacked. That is not a fun job. It is just so spiky, pokey, thorny. Oh my goodness, my hair was getting stuck in there. I just do not like pruning a pomegranate tree. I think this is a good contender for hiring somebody to come and prune it in subsequent years. So as you can see, I pruned it back to the 2 main trunks that I made last year. You see there, and they look really good. They're getting nice and thick, and it's really easy to distinguish between these 2 trunks and the suckers that grew over this year. Man, see, like I got poked right here and it's hurting. Not fun at all. It's like pruning bougainvillea. It's just not a fun thing to prune. So anyway, I took off all the suckers. I'm hoping that this year I'll be better at taking off the suckers as they come, because it'll be a lot easier. I just have to force myself to like get in there during the season, because once it flushes all out, it's kind of hard to get close in there. But I'm just gonna do it. Now, what I could do is I could come in here and I could thin it out. There's a lot of like crossing branches there and all that kind of stuff. I just don't want to do it. I should get that one. Let me get that one. All right, let me get this. Ugh. All right, that's better. These are crossing too. Oh, I could just keep going. You see how hard this is? Ugh. I should have got my rose pruning gloves. All right, there we go. Anyway, okay, so we'll see how that does. I'll see how many pomegranate I get this year versus last year. I bet it'll be like halfway. I bet I'll get a basket full. But yeah, pomegranates, I don't have much to say about them. Not my favorite fruit tree, but it definitely looks better now that I pruned it. Now I just have to clean up all these suckers. That is not gonna be fun. So deciduous fruit tree pruning is done. I can put a check next to that. I've got a little bit more bulb planting to do for January, and then the big thing is roses. Look at, these are my iceberg roses, 3 of them, and they have not lost any foliage at all, any foliage. So I got a lot of work to do with my roses, but I'm kind of waiting because I'm going to a workshop put on by Linda Knowles, who I just talked about her in another video where I was shopping for bare root roses. She is the rosarian that has the rose allée, and on her rose allée she has climbing roses over these arches, and she's doing a workshop on pruning, how she prunes and takes care of her climbing roses. I know, I'm really excited, and I asked her if I could film it, and she said yes. So you guys are all gonna get to see it. I'm super excited about it. That is on the 17th, so after I go to that, I'll plan to do all my rose pruning, and you guys will get to see that video, which I think is gonna be fantastic. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope you all have a chance to get in your garden today.